Hey everybody, welcome to an episode of Monster Hunter. Wasn't sure if I was going to do this, but I had a friend who was asking me all about what Monster Hunter is, and he said he'd rather watch me than like other YouTubers or streamers, you know, because we're friends. So I figured I'd do, I don't know, half tutorial-ish, like a what is Monster Hunter sort of. I'm hoping we can just get into a big hunt, because I know, like, I have to go to work soon. It sucks. But I've played 120, 130 hours of this already, and I played Gun Lance, which is a big lance with a gun in it, sort of like Squall's Gunblade, but just big, lancy. So I figured I'd do Switch Axe. So there are 14 weapons in this game, and they're all pretty unique and good. I would say heavy bowgun and light bowgun are the most similar. Wonder if I have to do this. But yeah, so you get multiple trees. So I can forge a bone axe or an ore axe right now, and then I can progress down these trees and get various things using the materials, you know, the red slots down there. I'll figure out what those are later. But for right now, I'm just going to upgrade my axe a little bit, because I can. And eventually they get statuses and elements where you probably want to pick those depending on which monster you're hunting. Because certain monsters are weak to certain elements, certain monsters are weak to certain statuses. So it's good to have a good
hey there, partner.
Good stockpile of various weapons to take on each monster. Because you don't want to take on, just have like a fire axe and then
You can pick up quests from the
continually
quest board,
fight all
too.
the monsters, even if they're not weak, even if they're strong to fire.
It lists the same quest that I've got, so don't worry about.
You want to
having
have the
check
weakness.
two
You want to
places.
fight the Pidgey with the Pikachu. You want to fight fire with water, not fire. Oh, I can just stay with her.
We're on the hunt.
So in Monster Hunter games, you always go to a hub, like a hub town. And you go here. I've made a private session, but I'm still going with one. Oh, this isn't the kind of thing I wanted to do. I wanted to fight a big monster. The big thing about... I know all this. This is a place where you can eat a meal and buff your stats for the upcoming fight. The ultimate thing about Monster Hunter is fighting the big monsters, upgrading your weapons and armor so you can fight other big monsters. But in the beginning, they want you to fight the weaker stuff, you know. And as soon as I'm able to, oops, sorry, I'll show you kind of what everything is. I also have a I'm playing on the PS4, by the way, so the loading is going to be a little bit longer. I'll cut them out in the future, just so you don't have to see as much. Because that's the worst part. I can cut this out.
Okay, our job is to call a certain number of Castodons.
So you can usually check this box, and they'll have temporary items for you that you can use. And at the end of the hunt, they disappear from your inventory. So for the most part, you may as well take them. But see, there are a bunch of monsters. These are just herbivores. They don't fight you. These, I believe, do.
There we are. There's my friend.
And these are what I'm supposed to fight right now. But each weapon is very different. Up in the top left, you see I have a big green bar. I'm a little too busy focused on what I'm talking about here. The big green bar is your health. The red portion of the bar means that's health I can recover, as long as I don't take more damage. If it's gray clear, you know, like transparent sort of, that means I cannot recover that health without a potion. or another health restoring item, I suppose. The yellow bar under that is my stamina.
Not bad.
Usually doing stuff like running, big attacks, uses up your stamina, and you want to keep that as full as you can.
All right.
Because once you run out,
Be
you're
careful.
out of breath, and it takes a while to build back up.
The
So you
cast
never
that
want to be
unleashed
caught
your worries.
with very, very
A lot
low
bigger
stamina.
monsters lurking in this forest.
Under that,
The
you see
endemic
like
life
a
around here can
weapon
come in handy during a hunt.
that
Try
is
to learn as much as
it's
you
like
can
half
about them.
yellow bar filled. That's your weapon sharpness, and you need to make sure you keep that green as often as you can. There are higher sharpnesses like blue and white, but for now it's just green. You don't want to fight a monster with a dull blade, you know? Underneath that is like a weird thing that sort of looks like my axe, kind of. Most weapons are different and have different like features and things to them, you know? The switch axe, since it's fully blue, I can switch from axe mode to great sword mode, and that does more damage and unlocks more different types of combos.
Be careful.
And that's how the switch axe works. You switch modes. Make the little switch. I got a big old greatsword now, right? That's like its ultimate move. You discharge a lot of an element. I do not know much about switch axe. I'm telling you, I played gun lance and I played bow. Switch axe is the thing I know the least about. But I do know we need to sharpen, because if your sharpness is too low, your attacks will bounce off the harder parts of the monsters. So you want to keep it sharp. You don't ever want bouncing attacks, because bouncing interrupts your combos, which interrupts how much damage you're doing. You'll see I'm doing orange numbers right now, which means I'm striking the weak parts of monsters. I don't think these guys have non-weak. Oh, they do like their feet. They're not weak in the feet. They got strong feet. Let's morph again. See, and that's pretty cool. And that will do most of the switch axe's damage, from what I understand. Yeah, but the bow's main features are that, like, it comes with coatings. Like, you coat your arrows with, I don't know, status juice and element juice. Well, not element juice, but status juice. And different bows have different statuses they can apply. Like, power coating, sleep coating, paralysis coating, and poison coating, and blast. I don't remember them all. Maybe that was all of them. But the cool thing about Monster Hunter is that all the weapons are like magnificently different.
I think I found something.
The gun lance comes with like ammo, and you can discharge all your ammo at once, and you do like a big sweeping, arcing, just huge explosion. And it's really good at breaking the parts of monsters. When you break monster parts, you get different, maybe not different, but rewards at the end. Like if I break horns on a horned monster, like sometimes I'll get the horns as a thing.
Here.
Ooh, maybe we are going to fight a big monster. But the little cat is your partner. They're called palicos. They don't do nearly as much damage, and they're not quite as helpful as other players most of the time. That's the Great Jagras. He does that. He eats things and gets a big belly.
Gotcha! Alright, partner. New assignment incoming. Take down that great
I'm gonna take down that
if
Great
you're
Jagras.
not ready, you can return to
But
base and
also
take
you
on
have
the
these
Great
flies,
Jagras
and
quest
they
later.
let you hunt
Wanna get
for,
going?
or they highlight different things you can interact with, like footprints, and it'll show me that I can get this Wiggly Litchi, which halves my stamina. I don't know if that
And you're
actually
going
picked it
to
up or
need
not.
friends when you go up against some of the tougher monsters. In order for the scout flies to better
The
track
game's
the target
complicated.
monster,
Like, this
we need to
is
keep
the least
finding traces
complicated
of
version of Monster Hunter,
footprints, for example.
and it's still
Good. You're
complicated.
turning up a lot of clues.
I skipped most of the story stuff and the character creation because I recommend you play it yourself, and I'm the biggest advocate for non-spoilers. I do not like spoilers in my gaming circles, you know. I want to experience everything myself, you know.
Okay, we've tracked the Great Jagras enough for the scout flies to lead us to it. You're less likely to lose sight of a monster if you use the focus camera.
Yeah. I know he's weak to fire, but this is like what you do in Monster Hunter. You fight the big monster, and then you make weapons and armor out of the monster, and then you fight other different monsters. This guy's weapon's really cool too, like his armor actually. It gives you the sweet mane that he gets.
Dodge their attacks. You don't want to take hits
Telling me
like
to
that.
evade, but shut up. I'm too cool for evasion. Sharpness is getting a little low in the green, so I'm going to sharpen. I might have enough time, I don't. But this is just the starter monster. So I'm not going to have too much trouble. At least I shouldn't. If I do, I'm sorry. But this is the weakest big monster in the game, possibly. There might be one more that's weaker than this. But I've never lost to the Great Jagras. So the main thing you do with your, one of the bigger things that are different about weapons is the various combos and the different types of damage. I think this probably does slicing or severing damage, which means I can probably cut tails better than some weapons. Things like the hunting horn and hammer, when you strike their heads, they'll accumulate impact damage or knockout damage, and you'll eventually knock the monster to the floor. So it's good to have a mix when you're in a party with multiple players. So you can do the impact damage, and let's see if I can mount the monster. Nope. Another thing they added in Monster Hunter is the ability to mount. You get on top of the monster and they go nuts, and then you can knock it to the floor.
Oh boy, that monster's really mad.
And that usually provides a large opening for your teammates. See? There we go.
You've mounted the monster.
It's teaching me what to do, but I already have a good notion of what I'm supposed to be doing here. You don't have to brace, you can just move on the monster too. It works like that. Oh my god, we're getting jiggly here. And at the end, you do a big attack. And it knocks the
Now's your chance to get in there
thing to the floor. But yeah, this is essentially the essence of Monster Hunter. You make a guy, you pick a weapon you like, and you go out and hunt monsters. It's fun to find them, it's fun to fight them. You don't even have to, you saw from a board I picked a mission. You can just enter this forest without a mission, and it'll give you no time limit, which I also forgot to mention. The clock in the top left is your... Oh, nice! I didn't know you could even do that. But, yeah. You can just pretty much do whatever, collect whatever you need. Because another big thing about this game is crafting and collecting. I I just assume this is the biggest attack. I have not played the Switch Axe at all. I just know that looks the biggest and looks the coolest. Once you get far enough in the game, you can get traps and tranquilizers, and you can capture monsters. And that's good for getting more, like getting more rewards from the monsters, except for certain rare stuff. So like, I'm not gonna spoil too much. Oopsies. But it's good to carve the monster at the end for certain things like gems.
Okay. Let's head back.
See, he's dead. Killed him, easy peasy. And then they give you a minute to carve the monster. Yeah, we want this stuff off of him so we can forge the armor from him. You can also make weapons and armor from the little dude stuffs. Like if I kill these guys, it's not gonna be as good. And usually it's only one piece of armor, like gloves or boots. They don't make a whole set usually. You can also forge armor for your Palico, so he can get better and take more hits, and you know, such as that. Usually in each map, there's about 3 large monsters running around, usually. And they can fight each other, and sometimes when they do fight each other, you want to back off and let one, you know, kill the other, or not kill, but brutally maim the other. Because you can't do the 1,000 damage quite yet. Like, you saw what I was hitting for, 6s and maybe 20s. But if you let one of the bigger monsters fight that monster, he'll do a large portion of damage. And so you don't even have to do anything, and they'll be too busy fighting each other that they won't fight you. However, there are a couple of monsters out there, like there are a couple dragons out there that are mates, and they will gang up on you. They will not give a crap about fighting each other, because they're mates.
Hey.
This is one of my favorite monsters in the game. Is another big monster. So kind of what they want you to do is to maybe hunt another great Jaguarus, make a weapon and armor out of it, and then hunt this guy. And then you make weapons and armor out of this guy, and you maybe hunt a different guy.
Something's got him agitated.
This is all story and plot. I won't skip this one because I did a lot of talking.
I've never seen
But
anything
next time
like
I'll
it.
skip
You think it's from Zora Magdaros?
such like this
I'd
and
like to
things like
find
this
out.
because you don't need to
You
know
better report back
everything
first.
about it.
All right.
But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little kind of what is Monster Hunter. So essentially you go to a hub, you usually pick up a quest, and then see all these rewards you get at the end. They give you extra rewards. If I captured the monster, I would get more down here in the bonus rewards, I believe. But you go to a hub, you pick up a quest, or you just leave and go on an expedition. In the hub, you can get friends to like join you, and the monsters get stronger and they get more resistant to attacks. Let's see. You always want to prepare. You want potions. You want maybe attack boosting juice, defense boosting juice. You want to eat before you go on a mission. You want the best stats you can have for each monster. I know I've been playing like 120 hours on my main character, and like I don't need to eat when I fight these lower monsters. But you'll probably notice
Want to get going?
there was no level. I have no level. There's no
Once the
you
camp
gain
is
no
set up,
experience
you can
points.
go after that puke.
The only the only experience you get is learning what the monster does and being able to adapt properly. You get real life experience in this video game experience. there's other stuff you can do, and like you can upgrade this this area. You can upgrade the canteen so you can eat better food. You ultimately do quests to upgrade this town, make it better, to make you better, so that when you fight these bigger monsters you have an advantage, and you always want an advantage. Here's a Poogie. You can pick him up and play a little petting minigame. Oh, sorry, I have the coughs lately. But yeah, well, we can go check out armor quick. I do have to go to work. I know. I just wanted to make a little video, kind of explaining what is Monster Hunter, how it plays, and why it's so popular right now. I think this is the most popular Monster Hunter by far, just because a lot of stuff is streamlined. The game used to be a lot slower, and it used to be on portable systems, making it not quite as beautiful as this. Here, yep. I know. You can read the tutorials at home later if you pick up this game. But see, I can make leather, I can make chainmail. You can preview it all. Well, that's what you look like. You get leather. Got the hunter armor. There's some bone stuff. See, and like the first thing they had me hunt was the Kestodons, and they give me gloves, but they don't give me any other pieces of armor. And then there's Jagras stuff. I think this is from the first little Jagras. No, you need great Jagras stuff. Oh yeah, I'm playing a female, so I don't really remember. So it's gonna look a little different. But if you're a dude, you get like these giant blonde hairs, like the mane. Also, you can check what skills they give you. Like this one, like the gloves will give you increased affinity by 30%. Affinity is chance to crit. But if you have the Jagras stuff, you'll eat stuff faster. Monsters won't fight you as much. Your Palico's better. And every time you fall in battle, you get 10% more towards attack and 15% more towards defense. This one's kind of worthless. You don't really crawl and crouch that much. But yeah, there's different levels for everything. You can maybe... No, it's not going to be... It'll be an upgrade equipment. So we'll go here. And you'll notice I can now make this axe, which looks different from this axe. Not by a lot, but it does look different. And you'll notice... Attack of 315, it has a little bit of green sharpness, no affinity, no element, and it has a power file. But when you go down here, it's 385, still a little bit of green, and it has an exhaust file, which makes the monsters tire out faster, which gives a lot more openings because they're so tired. So we'll make it. I don't know if I was using any files. Again, I didn't Google or wiki any of this. I'm just playing as I go and learning. But yeah, there's a bunch of weapons. I'll cover all these in the next video for people who kind of just want to know what they do. But thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking it out. And I hope this was enlightening for you. See you in the next episode of probably this, or maybe a Mega Man. Goodbye!